Side money, I stayed in. When hard times showed up, I could've caved in. But mama didn't raise a loser, I played to win. I've been through a lot of drama, but it never broke me. Now I'm happier than ever, ask the ones who know me. People swear they be so loyal, I just tell them show me. Sometime they in, sometime they out, this ain't hokey pokey. Smiling from the inside, I be glowing. Had to learn to trust my gut, I be knowing. Don't poke no bad vibes around me, I be throwing.
They'll talk about me, maybe not to my face, yo, but probably soon as I leave. Yeah, what's in your heart? One day it gotta come out, but I bet not here. Well, I finally met a woman who was way more freaky than me. Yeah, she was. She wanna do it in the morning, afternoon, and in the evening, we freaking. She love to get it on. Yeah, I had to sleep with one eye open. But this woman won't leave me alone. No, she won't. I had to sleep with one eye open, yeah. But this woman won't leave me alone. No, she won't. All she wanna do is make love.
All right, Theo, what's happening, man? How you doing?
I'm doing all right, brother Jacob. I'm doing all right, bro.
Yeah, man. Having a little technical issues tonight, but we here.
Hey, man, it's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right.
The Chatterbox with King Jacob, man. And I'm your host, King Jacob. So tonight's topic is the excellence of soul blues music, and I'm so happy to have you as a special guest, man. So for people who don't know who you are, introduce who Theo Huff is to the people.
Well, Theo Huff is a young R&B soul artist, recording artist from the west side of Chicago, born and raised. Also, been blessed to be able to fellowship and share the stage with a lot of great, legend great. You know? So I'm just blessed to be able to do it.
Okay. So with that being said, where did music start for you at?
Music has started, originally from the South, and at the times, a lot of our, mentors, well, a lot of my mentors, I should say, came from the South to Chicago to record. Some of them recorded on the Trust record, some of them recorded on the Brunswick record company, the same record company as Jackie Wilson, Tyrone Davis, and the list go on and on. C.O. John, stuff like that.
Okay. So man, as long as you can remember, music has been a thing for you. This is something that you knew you wanted to do forever. So as far as when did you discover that you had a talent and once you discovered that you had this talent, man, how was that conversation with you and your parents about
Well,
you having this talent?
Well, the thing is, see, I grew up in the church, and when you grow up in the church, you know, as you can relate, you have singing all around you. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So I grew up singing in the gospel choir, but I never took it serious. You know, I never took it serious until one day I was beating on the table and singing a song that I heard from a church conference. And my mama looked at me, she said, do that again. And I sung it. And then she said, hold on. Sing that song again, boy. I say, I am a living testimony. I could have been dead and gone, but the Lord let me live on, yeah. And I started singing this at the age of 6, 7 years old, you know. So imagine a 7, 8 year old young man sounding like a 45-year-old man. So it was just something very unique
Okay.
that my mother discovered in me at a young age, and she pushed me to different places and start putting me on the spot, no matter where I was at, to sing in front of people. So that's what helped build up my confidence right there.
Okay. So singing in church, and then people. Back in the day, we had the doo-wop days where people sung on the streets, and people had the hat out in, and people put the money in the hat. So for you,
Mm.
was that something that you did? Was sing on the streets, sing in the streets, and people noticed you like that as well?
Uh, certain places, I wasn't literally in the streets. I was surrounded by people in the barber shop. You know, like I was a barbershop kid growing up. My mother have was working in the barbershop. She does hair, cut hair as well. And at that time, I was 6 years old, 7 years old, and it was a gentleman by the name of Walter had this old school gray boom box on his working stand, and he used to play all types of James Brown, all kind of music, you know, reggae music. And if I felt that the music was good enough for me to dance to, I would be dancing up and down the aisles while people getting their hair done, and then they'll drop some money on the floor as a donation for me, you know. So it was like a motivation to say, hey man, this young blood right here, keep doing what you're doing. And I didn't still didn't take it serious at that time. I just knew that I loved the money, you know what I'm saying? And I went to the candy store after that. So imagine a 6, 7 year old getting the type of money like 20, $25 for a 6, 7 year old dancing down the aisle of a barbershop. You know what I'm saying? So that was my first taste of entertainment for me without me even taking it serious.
Okay, okay, okay. So working in the barber shop, getting really connected with the community because
Yes,
there's a
sir.
lot of things that happen in the barber shop, and there's a lot of people you'll meet in the barber shop, especially as a kid,
Absolutely.
man. So understanding that you had to give. So when did you finally understand that this is something you need to take serious?
When I realized it, when God put it in my soul mentally to realize it, I was about 13 years old, 12 or 13 years old when my mother came to my high school and she talked to, at the time was my music teacher. His name was Jimmy Tillman Sr. And she walked up to him and said, excuse me, Mr. Tillman, uh, can you help make my son famous? She said, well, ma'am, I ain't no make no promises, but I try my best to work with your son. I promise you that. And he gave me 3 songs to learn. It was Sam Cooke songs, Darling, You Send Me, Twisting the Night Away, and Change Gonna Come. And I learned all three of them songs within a day and a half. And I came back and singing them songs in the class. So he helped push me within the school range. You know, start putting me in different school talent shows. And when I realized that a lot of young ladies in high school, I went to Westinghouse, they started going crazy. I said, "Hey, pops, this is what I like to do right here. I'm feeling this, you know." So that's what motivated me to really take it to the next level. And next thing you know, I was in different school talent shows, and I was acing them. You know, I was winning school talent shows after talent shows.
Okay, okay, okay. So so you the different talent shows, man, and how did it go for you with the talent shows?
Oh man, it was amazing. I mean, at that time, that's when it was this place called the Kiva. It was like what you call that? A gymnastic place that a lot of people came to for meetings, but also express themselves at. You know, um, and man, you know, me doing that so many times, I can relate that it was one time when it was different artists would come to our school, like the public announcement, Phil Davis from Public Announcement, and also my boy Lil Wish that he was a rapper at the time. I went to elementary school with him, but he did his thing at the time as a rapper. Then it was the late great Johnny P from Do or Die, the one that sung "Do you wanna ride in the backseat of Caddy? Top it up, do or die." So when I sung Sam Cooke, next thing you know, it was a gentleman coming behind me, tapped me on the shoulder, singing a song with me. I didn't realize at that moment that he liked it what I did, and it was the late great Johnny P. And that's what another level of motivation for me to even press forward to go to the next level. So, you know, it was just a blessing to have that experience. And man, I mean, it was just a blessing to be able to have that. You know, that's what motivated me
Okay,
tremendously.
okay. That's what's up. That's what's up. So we have Miss Sandra Smart Spicer tapping in with us, and she
Hey, Miss
is
Sandra,
from your city of Chicago. She's a phenomenal actress. She's a phenomenal movie producer, man, all around businesswoman, and you know she's from that greater Chicago metropolitan area, just like yourself. So thank you for tapping in, Chandra. I definitely appreciate your support. But yeah,
thank you so
man,
much.
and so once Johnny P understood this talent of yours,
Mm.
what was the next conversation you and him had?
Well, he said at that time, he said, "Young man, you got a bright future ahead of you." And he just gave me encouraging word. He said, keep doing what you love to do, you know. And he said, don't let nobody stop you from doing what you love to do. And I took that as a stepping stone and kept going. And next thing you know, the next level was when my music teacher at the time, Mr. Jimmy Tillman, he took me to this theater called the Black Ensemble Theater, and he introduced me to the founder of the Black Ensemble. Her name is Jackie Taylor. She played in the movie Cooley High, Hoodlums, Barbershop One, Barbershop Two, Chirac. You know what I'm saying? So she's a professional actress that took the time out to groom up and coming artists and actors and actresses, you know. So she the one that when she heard me sing at the age of 14, she fell in love with me. And then she started putting me in plays, different plays, and musical plays as well, you know.
Okay, okay. So we have Nicole M. Jordan, the CEO of Exquisite PR firm, tapping in with us. Thank you, Nicole,
What's
for
up,
joining us.
Nicole, baby? How you doing, girl?
No doubt, no doubt. So, man, listen, you said it piqued my interest. So you was in stage plays in musicals at a very young age. And
Yes,
so
sir.
with you being in musicals, man, can you really talk about that experience and how that helped you, as a single songwriter and as an actor as well?
I'm gonna tell you this, brother Jacob. Mother Jackie Taylor and Jimmy Tillman Sr. Them two people really was a big factor. Uh, they played a big part of my early career because Jimmy Tillman took me on his wings and told me the do's and don'ts and the wills and the won'ts. And Mother Taylor did the same thing, but she taught me how to conduct myself on stage. And because at that time, I had a nervous problem. When I was singing, I sang to the flow. And she'll say,
Hmm.
hey, baby, don't sing to the flow. You take all your energy away like that, you know? So she gave me that motherly love at the same time and taught me how to work the stage the proper way. It was like an artist development program, you know, and that's what it really was. So forever, I thank God for both of them for taking the time out and teaching me the arts of working the stage, you know. So what I do is, even to this day, I take what I learned from the theater and put it in my shows, and it helps me a lot.
Okay, okay. And so, man, you've been blessed to work with a lot of great people in the soul blues music industry. So let's talk about some of the people that you had a chance to work with that are legendary, you know.
Mhm. I had the pleasure to work with in the studio the legendary Mr. Lattimore. Straighten It Out. He wrote two songs off my first CD, and plus we have done a few shows together. A very great man that you want to know, Bobby Rush, the legendary Bobby Rush. Um, Man, he's like an uncle to me. He always give me word encouragement. Hey, baby. Hey, watch this, D. Watch this. I see you over there, baby. I see you over there. You know, he just one of the good guys. You know, and you don't
Mhm.
find too many cats like him still alive to help groom the next generation. Thank God that God still allowed him to be around it to help us because he's 92 years old and still going strong. You know, I
What a
just
blessing.
feel I'm blessed to work with. I have worked with him, the late great Denise LaSalle, Sugar Pie Santo. I have worked it with George McCrae, Willie Clayton, Stan Mosley, the Shy Lights, and also what a lot of people don't know if they go to YouTube, it was a legendary group that by the name of the Independents that I was a part of. I was one of the lead singers of the Independents. Um, I was blessed with the experience with that as well.
Okay, okay. And so you also are familiar with my homeboys from the shy, that I had the pleasure to interview them, me and my homeboy Icon, the
Mm.
impressions.
Oh yeah. Matter of fact, one of the impressions took my spot when I departed from the group Independence, and man, it was tragically, but he died in rehearsal while they was
Mm,
rehearsing, and man, he was a wonderful guy, wonderful guy. I think his name was Reginald or something like that. One of the part of the impressions. Um,
right, right.
he never got a
And and
chance.
and, and then Theo, another thing, man, is with me interviewing in the impressions, my dad always taught us about that Chicago sound, and that
Yeah,
Chicago sound was so epic, you know what I mean? And just to really understand that you've been around people who work with Curtis Mayfield and Tyrone Davis and all them, man. So you've been around some really legendary people, and so with you navigating through the music business and working with those legendary people, man, how did that shape your mind and really shape the way you navigate through the music business?
well, it's just like a kid at the candy store. They're gonna try to get all the candy they can get. It's just like a baby when he's born. His mind soak up everything around him like a sponge. So when I got around, like Eddie Thomas was the manager of in the group called Independence, who also helped it Curtis Mayfield from the Impressions and stuff like that, and also stuff like that. He knew a lot of legends also. So being around them cats and also being around Marsha Thompson from the Chi-Lites, the last man standing, hey, you get the chance to learn a lot. They school you on different things about the music industry. And this is stuff that a lot of people got to pay for. But I was blessed to be around wonderful people that believed in me to be able to share the knowledge with me. You
No doubt,
know,
no doubt. So man, Theo, we have Big Steve of Everything Entertainment tapping in out of Greenville, South Carolina. He says, "What up, Theo Huff? Love your music, bro." And so, thank you,
thank you,
Big Steve, for
Pastor.
tapping in with us.
Thank you, cool. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for supporting me. I really appreciate that.
No doubt. Now, Theo, you opened up for a whole lot of people. So, what was your first experience of opening up for a major artist?
The first time I opened up for a major artist, I believe I was 16. I was 16 years old, performing at the Roots Festival on 47 King Drive, Chicago, Illinois. And I opened up for Albertina Walker, the late great Albertina Walker, Otis Clay, the late great Otis Clay, and Nellie Travis was on that show. And I can honestly say it was the Hale Melvin's Blue Notes. And I can always remember from Hale Melvin's Blue Notes group, was a guy named Tony Brooks, a great friend of mine. He pulled me back at the age of 16. He said, "Hey, young blood, come here." I said, "Yes, sir. How you doing?" He said, "Man, I saw you did a wonderful job out there." He said, "I don't want to catch you on drugs. I don't want to catch you on drinking, calling on drinking." He said, "Because you got a bright future ahead of you." He said, "As long as you keep God first, everything gonna work itself out." And it was very ironic when he said that. Now it's 12 years later, I would say 12, 13 years later, we performing on a cruise, boat cruise. And I see him, I say, "Hey, Mr. Tony, how you doing, sir?" He say, I say, "You remember about 12, 13 years ago when you did the Roots Festival?" on such and such? He said, yeah. I say, you know, as a young man, you pulled in your trailer and he wore all pink suit. And you told him this. He said, yeah, I remember that. I said, that young man, was me. He said, oh my God. And he actually, man, that made him feel good inside because
Right, right,
it's
right,
just
right.
like me. If I see another young brother that's younger than me, that's 16, 17 years old, because I'm 36 years old now, and I share that knowledge with him, and he followed through, and I see later on down the line, he climbing up the ladder, that's gonna make me feel good. That's gonna make me feel like, God, I thank you for even allowing me to share this knowledge to be inspiration in this young fella life, So that's how he felt about me, you
That's
know.
man, that's wonderful, man. That's wonderful. And we have also found Regina tapping in, aka DJ Jen. Thank you for tapping in. She's a Southern soul artist and a DJ, and she's an
What's up,
actress
Miss
as well.
Regina Hook? Regina
Yeah,
Hook's in the
yeah. So
building now.
yeah, so she's definitely a pretty influential person in them. So thank you for tapping in, Jen. And Theo, we also have another comment. It's from Brandy Smith. He said, "Hey, yo, Theo, love your new song, moving that thing."
Thank you, Brandon. I think I caught her singing it a couple of times. I think her favorite part is "Woo, Lord have mercy." Yeah.
I know that's right, man. I know that's right. Now, Theo, I've definitely, had the pleasure, and just so y'all know, Theo is a client of Exquisite PR Firm, so I work with Theo closely. Me, and Mr. Kojo work with him very closely. But what's so interesting about you, man, is the reason why I wanted to bring you on the Chatterbox with King Jacob because you have so much history to share with people, man. On how long you've been grinding since you were 16, and so at 16, 17, 18, you was around some influential people that really showed you a lot of stuff about the music business. So man, and and you also are in the Blues Museum, right? That down in Memphis, right?
Yes, sir. Actually, I'm a Blues Hall of Famer. They are not. They gave me my plat last year. It was presented to me by the news anchor man of Channel 7, Mr. Art Norman, and the wonderful Miss Tamika Dixon and Mark. Tamika Dixon is the granddaughter of the blues. She is Willie Dixon's granddaughter that
Mm.
helped me get the Blues Hall of Fame award. And I want to give her a shout out as well as my boy Mark, that's down there with Buddy Guy's legend downtown Chicago. I I really appreciate that, and I thank God for them as well.
Mm. Man, calling a name like Buddy Guy. Oh my. Whew.
Yeah,
Talk about
yeah.
some
So
history. Talk about some history, man. That's
the
major
man,
history right there, man.
the man still talking stuff and can sing, perform at the age of 89. I'm
Man,
telling you, Jake,
that's
once
what's
you
up,
come
man.
to Chicago, man, it's a blessing to see these cats, man. And I pray to be in their shoes if the Lord to keep me living, if the Lord's will. You know what I'm saying? They
Yes, sir.
motivated
Yes, sir.
young
Yes,
brother like me.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. And man, I just want you to stay encouraged, stay motivated. But another thing, man, and you got recognized in Italy as well, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I uh I toured 3 years in a row in Porretta, Italy. I want to make a shout out to my main man, Mr. Graciano, that brung me that 3 years in a row. Um, man, I was I man, it's a wonderful experience very educational experience. Uh, I was on tour with Denise LaSalle, my godmother Chick Rogers from Memphis. Uh, Man, it was just so many people, so many people. Oh my God, wonderful artists that I grew up listening to as a kid. And next thing you know, you working with them or sharing the same stage. That's just a blessing, you know.
Yeah,
They
it is.
admire
It
you
is.
just like you admire them. So, hey, that's nothing but God.
Right, right. And then for you to go and listen to Miss Denise, man, as I did as well, and you be able to tour with her, man, that had to be such a surreal experience.
Absolutely, absolutely. Um, she treated me like I was a nephew. You know, the last time I saw her, we was actually in Greenwood, Mississippi, and that was the last time I saw her perform before she transitioned. And I could tell she like, baby, come on, give me my sugar. And I hugged her real tight, you know. And when I heard that she had made a transition, it hurted me because she was a very sweet woman to me. She motivated me as well. And her main thing, she was like, the first time she met me, she pulled me over to the side to say, hey, did anybody tell you that you sound like Willie Clayton? I said, I say, yes, ma'am. A lot of people have told me that in the past. I say he's a wonderful guy himself. Growing up, I listened to him, Tyrone, Johnny, and a lot more. But yeah, she hit the nail on the head, and she was a big inspiration to me as well.
And what's so funny, man, about 3 years ago, I and Nicole had a chance to have our name on a plaque that was presented to Betty Wright and her daughters, Soul Blues Lifetime Achievement Award. You know what I mean?
Oh,
So,
wow. Oh, that's a
yeah,
blessing. That's
so
a
so so Exquisite PR firm has definitely been in the loop, and it's just wonderful to have a client like yourself, man. That's really been around and just covering for the soul blues artists, just still representing them because a lot of
thank you.
people
Thank
don't really
you.
understand. You're welcome, bro. A lot of people don't understand what the Chitlin Circuit did for the music business. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
How they didn't want to let us in, but we created the Chitlin Circuit, and they had no choice but to listen to us. You know what I mean? And so,
Right.
and I tell our artists to this day, the Chitlin Circuit is the blueprint. And so
Mm-hmm.
if you follow this blueprint, you will be successful. So you got to think about people like James Brown. You got to think Sam Cooke, Otis Redding, Al Green, Jerry Butler, Junior Walker, and the All Stars. Just to name a few, man. And along with some of the groups, the Delphonics, the Manhattans, the Satellites, the Whispers,
Absolutely.
Temptations, the Four Tops, Smoking the
The
Miracles,
school.
and the list goes on. Yeah, man.
The,
So
you know, that's one of my favorite second group, the Spinners.
yeah,
Man,
okay,
they oh my God. Felipe Wynn, oh my God. That brother had mean history behind him, you know. Mean
right,
history.
right, right. And it's funny you say that, man. One of my favorite groups from that era, man. And it's funny, man. My dad used to have the Capona set where they played the 45 records, and
Hmm.
I used to hear this song by the Manhattans called Shining Star. And for some
Oh,
reason, to this day, man, that song remains in my head. I think it's a beautiful R&B ballad, man. And just the timeless music of those type of ballads, man. You know,
well,
just just
let me tell you this, Jake.
mhm.
You say that's your favorite song?
Yeah,
That's
one
my
of them.
producer, Paul Richmond, the same guy that produced Just My Luck on Me, Wet Panties
Hmm.
on Me, and also
Hmm.
Just Enough Rope on Me. That's the guy
Right.
that wrote uh Shining Star for the Manhattans. He wrote that
Oh
song
wow.
for his wife, and he gave it to the Manhattan to sing, and it became a hit.
Oh wow. Wow, man. And you know, now this is great. Cause a funny story, man, is like my homeboys used to say, man, I need to find a song to really, play for this chick because I don't want to just I can't express that I don't want to kind of deal with it no more. So I said, man, ask your pop about Hair Metal and Blue Notes and tell them to play that Kiss and Say Goodbye for you. You know what I mean? And so when it comes to ballads like Kiss and Say Goodbye, like Shining Star, even if we take it to to the mid '80s when you have Atlantic Star, you know what I mean?
Mm,
Like the Secret Lovers ballad was one of the greatest ballads ever. You know
yeah.
what I mean? Yeah, so man, keep doing what you're doing, and also, man, Biggs Radio loves you. I had a chance to email Biggs Radio about and they said, thank you so much, but he's already in rotation and can get interviewed when he wants to. And so I couldn't learn who Biggs Radio was in Atlanta, Georgia. We was at the Southern Soul Radio and Music Conference. And Big Radio was recognized at that Southern Soul Conference. So, if you can tell the people about how you was able to get in rotation with Beats Radio and how you've been able to get in rotation on many different stations.
Well, Biggs Radio. First of all, I would like to do a shout out to I call her boss lady, but she's a wonderful, wonderful, amazing leader as a woman. I mean, shout out to the one and only Miss Diana Lynn Biggs, Miss Donna Lynn Biggs, y'all. Uh, Man, she has stepped up tremendously for not only the artists, but for different DJs. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people really don't know her history. She been in the game for so many years, for 4 different decades, maybe a little bit longer. But she just don't look her age, and she's a beautiful woman to be her age, and also she also go over heels for up and coming artists, and I just would like to say thank you to her. Thank you so much, Miss Biggs, and the Biggs radio station organization as well, for allowing Theo Huff music get played, and not only that, to express myself, and I'm praying that I can be able to be a motivation to the next generation. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And not only that, um, she not only get the music played in the US, but she gets your music played over in Germany as well. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. International.
Cause cause she has a great overseas market as well, man. And so,
Yeah.
shout
Yeah.
out to her, man. And upon me receiving an email back from her, she was real professional, and just gave you your flowers. And so, I can appreciate that. So, tell us about your first experience at the Chicago Blues Fest.
Wow. My first time being at the Chicago Blues Fest was in 2009, I believe. And
Hmm.
and is one of the legends. He goes by the name of Mr. Willie Henderson. Mr. Willie Henderson is the legend behind Brunswick Record Label Company in the 70s, 80s as well. And he the one that wrote the charts for the horn charts for Tyrone Davis. Can I change my mind? Turn back the hands of time.
Hmm.
Turning point, and also Woman Need to Be Loved. All the early hits of Tyrone. He's the one that was in charge of the horns arrangement. And he said, "Hey, T, hey man, what you doing such and such day?" I said, "Well, I ain't doing nothing, Mr. Henderson." He said, "How would you like to perform uh, for the Blues Fest? All I just need you to do is 3 songs." I said, "Mr. Henderson, coming from you, I would love to. It'd be an honor." And that's when it was Betty Yvette and Ruby Andrew came and sung. And then I came on after them and did a tribute to Tyrone and Lil Milton. And it was just a blessing, man. I was man about in my early 20s.
Okay, okay, and another thing about that, that's so great that you can be recognized in your own city because anybody know the thing about blues fest, people come from all over to that festival. You know what I mean? People
Absolutely.
come from all over, man. Like you have people coming from down south, the people from the Midwest, people from up north. And then another thing that's so great about you. Let's talk about the tribute that you want to do to to some of the late great people. Can you talk about the tribute and why y'all came up with this tribute?
Well, we putting together now for later on this year. We me and my team, my crew, my band members, we put it together because we want to let the people know if it wasn't for Otis Redding, if it wasn't for Tyrone, if it wasn't for Johnny Taylor, if it wasn't for the cats that paved the way for us, we wouldn't be really singing the music, doing what we're doing. We probably would be singing, but it would be a completely different sound, probably. You know what I'm saying? So anytime that I do a show, that's the whole purpose of coming up with this tribute show because we just we just want to let show the respect for the legends that paved the way for us.
Okay. I can dig that, man. That's really special, and I can see that that's needed, and I think it could really be it could be an annual thing, and it can be big, and it can be a whole tour that's created, for those tribute shows. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I can definitely dig that. Now, when it comes to you, man, you got well, you got 7 songs that people like. You got Just My Love, and of course you got Moving That Thing, and then you got you song with J Red, and you got the song Let Me Come Back Home. Listen, man, listen now. I'm gonna say this. When we set you up the interview with VRP Radio out in New York City,
Mm.
and I sent them your records, they chose Let Me Come Back Home. I said, you know what, man? I said, you know what? So this right here let me know, man. And I've always told people this: different markets like different things. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
so when you sing them to that ballad, and they told you that was their favorite track, what ran through your mind?
Well, when they said that, I can honestly say that a lot of people love that song. Out of pretty much a lot of songs that I have recorded in the past, that's always been the talk of the repertoire that I have. Let Me Come Back Home. Wet Panties, and Soul Swing somewhat, but it's another song called So Called Friends. So Called Friends and Let Me Come Back Home, a lot of people can relate to those songs. And it touched home. So that's why it's the people's favorite.
So man, if you can give people a little insight on the creation on Let Me Come Back Home, what was that song about? You know, how did you kind of really come up with that song?
Well, how I came up with the song, I was roommating with these couples at the time, and they had a love hate type of relationship, and they had one of the relationship that one minute they lovey dovey kissing each other, and a spare minute or 30, 40 minutes or an hour later, they putting holes in the walls. You know what I'm saying? So
And,
actually, when this happened, the lady put the guy out, and it was snowing outside. So the man, he actually spent the night in his car for not over the night or not, overnight. And then he reached out, and there's a young lady. Her name was Tenor. He said, "Hey Tenor, uh, let me come back home. It's cold out here." And I took that phrase and I ran with it. It was really a joke, but it came out being a real song because I was thinking like, man, if I was in his position, how would I feel or what I would have done in that position. So what I did, I put myself in his shoes mentally, and that's how I came out with the song.
wow, wow. And the song came out so great, man. You know, it's a real nice R&B ballad. It came out like it was a it was something different from you, man. And you know, and it was what people is missing. You know, just the relationship battles and you know, people people in love one minute and next minute they out of love, but it's still something
Absolutely.
there, and they just can't, you know, get away from one another, you know, because of something there. So I can dig it, man. So as you get ready to close out, what's next for Theo Huff?
What's coming up next is, I'm in the studio working on some more stuff. Actually, I just released not too long ago my latest single called "Moving That Thing." It's an up tempo song. The people loving it. We're getting ready to do a line dance to it. The number one out of Illinois line dancer instructor, Miss Maddie B, will be the instructor of the song of line dancing. And then we're gonna shoot a video and we're gonna see how this thing go.
Okay, man. So Theo Huff is a client of Exquisite PR firm. Um,
Yes,
and
yes.
you know, if there's anything
Sorry
that
about
you
that,
need,
Jay.
including,
I don't mean to
you
cut
know,
you off, Jay, but I got to do this. Hey y'all, I want y'all to give it up. Everybody that's listening to this, give it up for my team, the exquisite PR, y'all. The one and only Miss Nicole Jordan and my main man, Mr. Jake. I call him Jake, King Jacob, y'all. That's the man.
yes, sir. We appreciate you. We appreciate you, man. And so, you know, for anything involving media, press, interviews, you can reach out to Miss Nicole M. Jordan, or you can reach out to me, King Jacob. And if you want to book it for any shows, you can reach out to none other to Miss Sadie Walker, aka Sadie Star. You know, so we working, and man, you know, we just gonna keep God first and stay blessed by the best. So man, is there any other announcements that you would like to make, Theo, before we get out of here?
Before I just want to let everybody know that I appreciate you all for supporting Theo Huff through the years. I want to thank God for bringing me this far. Lord knows it have not been easy, but I put God first. I want to let the people know that if it weren't for God for being in my life, that's keeping me moving, even the ups and downs, hey, I wouldn't be nothing. So I got to put him first. And I got to let you all know I want to thank you, and I love all my friends, fans, and family through the bad and the good, y'all. So I'm expecting you all to love me the same way. I love you. God bless.
Peace. We out of here.